The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's helpline session with your host, Craig Proctor.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Today is your opportunity to ask me any questions you have about your real estate business. The questions can be about marketing. They can be about technology. They can be about recruiting, hiring, training, managing. Could be about your broker. Any questions you have. It's a bit of a free-for-all. Just me here today. James McDonald is out in the Northeast doing some half-day seminars here today. So you'll be dealing with me all day today. What you'll notice on your screen, because this is a webinar, you'll notice our brand new coaching site. Now, those of you that just started the coaching program at the Anaheim Super Conference a week or so ago, it's not new to you because it's the only coaching site that you know of. But for those of you that have been in the coaching program for longer than a week or two, this is probably the first time you're seeing our brand new coaching site. So streamlined, upgraded, we believe it's much better, and we hope you enjoy it. So you're going to be able to access our brand new coaching site by going to craigproctorcoaching.com. That's craigproctorcoaching.com, and I believe your same passwords will work for that. Am I right on that, Andrea? They just use the same exact passcodes?
Yes, our technical person, Adrian, made sure that it's going to be very easy to get in. So just use your old passwords and log on, and they should all work. If you're having any trouble, just tell our office and they can get you on.
Perfect. Okay, well, you'll see on the coaching site, you'll see that we have our super conference coming up this weekend in Washington, D.C. I'm not sure if that's what you're seeing on your site, but that's what I have on my site. What I want you folks to be interested in is the upcoming boot camps we have. So the next coaching boot camp is going to be in Sarasota, Florida, okay, for all of you folks on the East Coast. Sarasota, Florida. It's going to be at the Hyatt Regency in Sarasota on May 21st, okay, and we're going to go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and you are entitled to bring somebody with you, a right-hand person, assistant, whoever you want to bring with you. But we do want you to make arrangements to be at that event. By the time we get to May, you folks will probably need a shot in the arm. So I want you to bring with you your ad examples, and I'm going to cover exactly what you need to know to get all this stuff implemented. So that's an entire day with me on the East Coast, and that is on May 21st from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, for those of you on the West Coast, our coaching boot camp is in June. Do you have that date handy, Andrea?
I don't.
Okay, yeah, we got some problems with your audio there for sure because I had trouble hearing you there. So Andrea's going to do the best she can, but she's got some problems. I'm on the telephone here, so you'll have no problem with me here today. But it is in June, and I know we announced that before, but maybe you can look that up, Andrea, while we're doing our helpline here today. But
I'm hearing boot camp is June 26th.
June 26th, okay, and that's in Huntington Beach. So if you're a coaching member on the West Coast, of course, you know, you can come to any of these if you want. You could live in California and go to the Florida event. You could be in Florida and go to the California event. So May 21st on the East Coast in Sarasota, Florida, June 26th on the West Coast in Huntington Beach, and both of these venues are from 9 a.m. To 5 p.m. You want to book that in your day timer right now. You don't want to miss this because we're going to take you through everything here, answer your questions. No one's there to sell you anything. There will be no vendors there. This is all about helping you with your business and helping you implement the program. Okay, so now we're going to go to questions. So two ways you can ask your questions. If you are kind of shy and you want to just type your question into the chat box, you absolutely can do that. Or you can raise your hand and ask an audio question. Okay, so again, the questions can be about whatever you want. So I'm going to start with some of the chat questions here. Andrea, do you want to read me some chat questions? We'll start with those, and then we'll go over and take some audio questions.
And Craig, if you could just give me just 1 second, I'm going to change my headset to see if that helps out the audio any. So just
Actually, you're perfect right now.
Oh, wait, I sound good? Okay, good,
Yep,
good. I'll just leave it the way it is. I'll have my backup over here on my desk just in case. Okay, this is from Tom. Tom's one of our new members. He says he's still waiting to hear from his coach. The earliest time his coach was able to meet was April 29th, which seems far away. What, in that case, do they do? Should they call our office? Should they email their coach?
Yeah, I would email your coach. If you haven't heard from your coach, I would email your coach. Do you have his email address, Tom? Just type that in there whether you have Lester's email address. If not, we can get that for you, and I would be in touch with your coach if you haven't been so far, because that should have happened by now.
He's saying yes, he does.
Okay, good. All right, Tom, well, that's the answer. Just email Lester. Lester's, he'll get back to you. If for whatever reason you don't connect with him over the next couple of days, just call our office, and we'll make sure that that happens.
I know a direct contact, Anna, at our office, and if you'd like to email her, Anna at craigproctor.com, A-N-A. She is in direct contact with all the coaches, and she can help facilitate any kind of need you may have with your coach. Okay, we have Sabrina. We have several leads for leases. What is the best way to convert them to buyers?
Look, it's all math, right? You know, is it better for people to rent, or is it better for them to buy? So that's the argument that you have to make. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. So you just go through that math. This is what it's going to cost you to lease this building or lease this home over the next X amount of years, and this is what happens if you buy. It's really that simple. It just comes down to math. Let's see if there's any audio questions at this point.
We do have a couple. We'll go with our first, Carol Hiscom, or Hicksom. Your mic is now open.
Hi, Carol. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Perfectly. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Good. And where are you calling from this morning, Carol?
Temecula, California.
Well, thanks for getting up early to be with us here today. What's on your mind?
I was just wondering, in the on our website, we have a lot of ads. Are the ads on your coaching program the same as the ones that are in our website?
Yes. Well, all the ads that are on the coaching website, we've built corresponding landing pages on the Success website. I assume that's what you're talking about, the Success website?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So I created the ad, and then most of the ads have both a website and a hotline. So what you're able to access through AMS is all the hotline scripts already pre-recorded for you, and all the landing pages are already created through Success website.
Okay.
So all you have to decide is which campaign you want to run. And Andrea is going to take you quickly to the ad generator. So for those of you that have been with us for a while, we are on a brand new coaching website that all of you can access. And Andrea has pulled up the ad generator. That's what it looks like. So those are classified ads. So you can see, for example, at the top, home seller mistakes. If you click on that, there's the ad. Okay, and if we hit, down below, it says view the less branded landing page. So this is an example of where you want your landing page to go to. And then if you flip back, you're going to see the hotline. And then you see this is offering a free special report. So you would be asking, well, where do I get the free report? So everything is in one spot for you folks. Everything you need to run the campaign. There's the report, the hotline script, and what landing page it should be going to. All you have to do is decide which ad you want to test, and then look at the results. You're going to be tracking all the different ads and all the different places that you want to run the ads, and let the marketplace tell you which one works the best for you. You'll discard the ones that don't work very well, and you'll continue to run the ones that work the best. And then it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. You're going to run the ads that work the best over and over and over again, and that'll build predictability. Now you'll know, for example, every time I run this particular ad, I generate 6 leads or 8 leads, and then you decide, well, how many leads do I really need to run? how many ads do I need to run to, get the leads I need?
Can I ask one more quick question?
Yep, for sure. Go ahead.
I just took a listing yesterday, and I was wondering, is there a way I can set up an 800 number through AMS that they could call that number and get information about the listing?
Yeah, so that's what we call the USP property tree. There's two hotlines. There's an information hotline. So when you're running an ad like the one Andrea just showed you, if you just want to pop that up again, Andrea, you'll see that we're not promoting you or I. So in California, you've got to have your name, your designation, your company, and your license number. That'll go at the bottom. So Andrea, maybe you can type that in required ID. Just, I don't know, make something up there. Okay, so my name will say, sales rep, Remax, okay, license number, and then just make up a number. It's clear I'm not promoting me. The only reason I have my name and my company name there is legally we have to do that. So this is what we call a less branded approach. We don't call it completely non-branded because as I just stated, we have to have our name and our company name there. But we're not going to a branded website. We're not going to a branded hotline. But when you're promoting your listings, it's different, right? Everybody knows when you're promoting your listings that, sure, that's coming from a real estate agent. So you're going to use the branded hotline. And the branded hotline has a main greeting that communicates all of your unique selling propositions. If you remember at the Super Conference, I said that your hotline, if you're replacing you with a hotline, the hotline needs to do what you would do and say. So you need to think about, well, on the main greeting, what do I want to say? If your main greeting simply says, hi, this is Carol, and enter the 4-digit ID number of the home you're interested in, if they go to that house, they don't like it, they hang up, and you don't really have anything, although the system has captured the phone number. So we teach you how to say the right things on the hotline so the prospects that call in, even if they don't like the home that you're promoting, that they still want to leave you a message. They still want something that you're offering on your hotline. That's the key to generating leads. If you don't do it properly, all you get is a bunch of hang-ups.
So do I contact AMS to get that help?
Correct. And I don't know whether they have a free trial, they're risk-free, but they'll want you to try out their program. And if you remember, I've recorded all the options on the main greeting, so you just need to decide which of those options you want to offer. And then, of course, you'll have to record the description for your house, for the property you have listed. But you can use the templates that we've created to do that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Carol. Good luck with that, but it's really nice when you can replace yourself with technology, so you will find you'll get more people calling when they don't have to talk to you, and you won't have to get up from the kitchen table every time the phone rings.
Our next audio question comes from Andre Sabarli. Your mic is now open.
Yes, hey, good morning, Craig. How are you?
Good morning, Andre. How are you doing today?
Good. You can hear me okay?
Perfectly.
Okay, great. I have been studying your universal callback script here and memorizing it, of course. And I come up to question number 5, which states, do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right?
Yep.
And it's question number 4 also on the seller side.
Okay, so Andrea's popping the script up so everybody can see what you're talking about. So
okay.
Are you going down the seller side or the buyer side of the script?
Well, right now the buyer side, but I see the seller side is, very much similar to it.
Yeah, it's a little similar. Like if you look at question 2, it says, do you currently rent or do you own? Obviously, if a prospect responded to a seller campaign, well, we wouldn't be asking them if they rent because they wouldn't be asking about the costly home seller mistakes if they were renters.
Right. So it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little different, but it's similar, which I like. So because you can memorize it really easy. So back to that question, what do you say if they say yes? How do you?
Okay. So you'll find there's only a few objections that we get with this script. So let's handle those.
Okay.
Okay. So you ask the prospect, do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? And the prospect says yes. What I'm going to say is I'm going to ask, are you 100% committed to that realtor? Now, if they say yes, I'm going to say, well, have you actually listed your home? If they have, we're just going to, politely get off the phone because we're there obviously too late. But if they say they're not 100% committed, or if they say, well, we haven't listed our home yet with a realtor, I'm going to say this, and everyone might want to write this down. I'm going to say, well, Andre, there's a big difference between real estate agents and what they do and how much they charge to get the job done. Do you think you might be open to speaking with me as well? Let me repeat that so everybody gets it. There's a big difference between real estate agents, what they do, and how much they charge to get the job done. Do you think you might be open to meeting with me as well? Now, what I like about this, first of all, when I say there's a big difference between what we do in the commission and what we charge, that they don't know, but I'm probably going to charge more than the other realtor they're speaking with. But, I am creating that doubt. And what I like about this is we're not saying don't meet with the other real estate agent or don't list with the other agent. We're just saying, what if there is a big difference between real estate agents and what they do and what they charge? Now, why don't you at least meet with me? So we're not telling them not to list with their friend or their relative that's a real estate agent. We're simply saying, would you be open to at least meeting with us? If they say to me, well, it's my cousin or it's my best friend or my neighbor, I would say, well, look, if you meet with me and you meet with your neighbor or your best friend and you don't feel that there's much difference between what I can offer and your best friend, well, then you're going to feel good going forward with your best friend. But if you meet with me and you find out that there's a lot more that I can do for you, that there is a tremendous difference, it might give you pause. You might think twice about listing with somebody just because they're your neighbor or your friend.
Okay.
Now, the key here is there's some objections that you and I can't overcome. Plus, we can't create motivation where motivation does not exist. They're either motivated and their timing is good for us, or they're not motivated or their timing is not good. So despite what all the Mike Ferries in the world might tell you, we cannot teach you scripts that are going to create motivation where they're not motivated. Like they either are or they're not. And that's not the job of the script. Okay, the job of the script is to simply determine whether they are motivated and what their timing is, and then we're going to either book an appointment, follow up with them, or we're going to say thanks and have a nice day.
Got it. Okay. So all these objections, do you have them in one place, or?
Yep, they're on the coaching website. But this is what we're going to help you with every Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Every Thursday, what I want you folks to bring to me is I want you to bring me your objections. I want to role play with you. Okay, James and I are going to role play with you. We're going to show you to handle the objections. You'll find that there's only 8 or 9, and they're very simple to handle. Now, I'm not saying we're going to book an appointment with everybody. We're not. I'm just saying if they're not motivated, or if they're, if the guy's father is a real estate agent, it doesn't really matter what we say or do. We're probably not going to get that one, right? So that's why we want to generate lots of leads. You generate lots of leads. You're on the phone for 3 or 4 minutes with each prospect, and in 3 or 4 minutes, you're going to know whether this is someone you want to book an appointment with, someone that's not ready yet, but still a good lead you want to follow up with, or they represent no business at all. And that was my mindset. It's now, maybe never. Now, maybe never. And I'm on the phone, I'm on, I'm off, I'm on, off, and I make a bunch of phone calls in a couple of hours with the very best of the best prospects. If you don't have enough leads, what happens is you're forced to book appointments with people you really shouldn't. And you end up working with people that aren't motivated, or their timing's way off, or they're rude, they don't respect you, they fight you all the way through closing, and life's too short for that. So if you have a choice, you don't really want to operate that way. And you folks now all have that choice.
Great. Love it. Okay. One more question, please.
Okay.
On that universal callback script on the bottom, there's also, buy first, home hunter service, and so on. And then the newsletter offer for a free monthly. Where can I find that on your website?
The newsletter?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to find that probably in the file library.
Okay.
Under newsletter. I think that should be operational by now. Remember, we've switched to a brand new site. Let's see if we can find that here, Andrea. Past client newsletter. Okay, type in MarketWatch newsletter.
I know that we're still working on some of the marketing materials, so we may just not have gotten to that far in our list. I know you contact your coach. They'll be able to get you a copy while we're still loading items.
You might need a space between market and watch. Try that. Okay, you can shoot Adrian, shoot him a note on that. What we're doing is we're migrating all the files from the prior coaching website we're using to the new coaching website. So it might be a couple days before that gets up there. But that's basically how that would work, is under File Library, you type in whatever you're looking for, and boom, it pops up.
Okay, and then it's updated every month, is that right? I mean,
well, I've created 12 issues, okay? So what I didn't do is I didn't name them January, February, March. They're, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what corresponds?
We are going to spend a lot of time on follow-up and the goal plan letters. So when you're doing follow-up, the basic follow-up program is going to be the newsletter and calling the prospect in half the time. Other things that you can do is, if it's a golden prospect, remember at the Super Conference, I talked about a seller that represents a golden prospect. That's somebody that is telling you, like, in 3 months, absolutely, I'm going to be listing my home. I've been transferred. It's a divorce. I bought new construction. There's a special follow-up plan for these golden prospects, and we're going to get into how that all works and how you can use that in addition to the newsletter, in addition to the personal phone calls, in addition to using voice broadcasting. But the most important thing out of all those follow-up pieces are the actual one-on-one calls you make to prospects.
Okay. Okay, sounds great.
All right, thanks, Andre.
Thank you, Craig.
Our next guest is Joel Brown. Your line is open. Joel? Okay, looks like he disconnected. Hold on one moment while I clear out my hand queue. Joel, your line is open again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Joel. How you doing?
Good. Hi, Craig. I know testimonials are really important, and I just wanted to run this by you and see how you would rate this testimonial up. We listed and sold the home in 11 days for 98% of asking price, so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to make it the strongest testimonial.
Did they use any of your unique programs?
No, I got them through Craig. I got them through Craig Proctor and doing it your way. But they basically, we put it on and it just sold right away. We priced it right. We went in and because I was watching your webinars and pricing and everything like that. We priced it right and it sold in 11 days.
Great. Well, I mean, it's good how it is. What would make it better? You see, what we want to have in our listing presentation is we want to talk about unique things that we do that other realtors don't. So, for example, one of the unique services that I offered was a Sunday tour of homes. The other was a guaranteed sale program, right? The other was my team system. So if I could get the seller to say something like this, because of Craig's Sunday tour of homes, we sold our home in less than 8 days for 100% of the asking price, that's better. Or because of Craig's guaranteed sale program, we're able to sell our home quickly and buy the home of our dreams. Or because of Craig's team system and the great service that was provided to us, we sold our home for 101% of the asking price. If I can tie that testimonial into one of my unique services, then the next time I'm on a listing presentation and I'm talking about the unique things we do, I can say, for example, here's how our Sunday tour of homes works, and here's a couple testimonials about how this Sunday tour of homes helped get this person's home sold at full asking price.
That makes sense. And then on the coaching site, do you have the forms that you write up the testimonials and the clients sign? Is there a form in there in the coaching site?
Yes, there is. You probably want to get them to sign off, and you want to get testimonials. Preferably, you want to get them, in video, on video, because then you can transcribe them for print, and you could use the audio, for radio if you needed. So, you want to have someone on your team that maybe shoots a video of the sellers next to the sold sign, or preferably with you and the sellers next to the sold sign. So you just need some simple form that they sign off saying that you're able to use this testimonial in your advertising.
Is that on the coaching site now?
Well, everything should be. Like I said, we're updating our file library. We're taking everything from the old coaching site to the new coaching site. So I'm not confident that when she types that in it's going to happen, but that's the idea, that whatever you need, you type in there and it comes up.
Okay, so I'll look it up then. Thank you very much.
Yeah, look it up and give us a day or two while he's doing that. If that fails and you can't find it there, a quick email to your coach and they should be able to get you it.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Elizabeth Kennedy. Your mic is now open.
Good morning,
Hold
Elizabeth.
on 1 second. I'm having a little trouble unmuting Elizabeth's line. I'm going to try one more time. Elizabeth, it should be working now.
There we go.
Hi,
Okay.
Elizabeth.
Yes?
Where are you calling from today?
The key to California. I'm in coaching group 58.
Yep.
Okay.
I just want to show everybody that's new with us that we do have members from all over the country, of course,
Yeah.
a lot in California. So
Yeah.
what's on your mind today, Elizabeth?
Okay, I just got a lead from my Google pay-per-click. This is the first time I got one of these funky ones like this. It's a guy that did like 12:30 in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he says he's renting right now, and he wants to buy only. He wants to move into the same area, but he's under contract with an agent already. How do I respond to this one?
Well, you're under contract with an agent. You need to deal with your agent.
Okay, just don't even bother?
Well, I would respond.
Okay.
I mean, I'm always going to respond to every inquiry, but the truth of the matter is by law, you really can't be in communication with this guy. He's already under contract with another realtor, so, we're going to respect the contract he has with the realtor, and he needs to have his realtor contact you if he has any questions.
Yeah, because he went to my campaign, the 10 best buys in La Quinta.
Yeah, we call that a lead a waste of time.
Okay.
Yeah, total waste of time. Again, just go on to the next one and forget this guy, but respond back saying, you say you've got a contract, you really need to go through your agent on this.
Okay, thanks, Craig.
You're welcome.
Okay. Our next question is Jim Doltry. Your line is open.
Hi, Craig. Jim Deltray calling from Toronto.
Hi, Jim.
Hi. Question. I just went through a session this morning with Success Websites, posting up my first ad on Craigslist, and it was a list of fixer-uppers with the TorontoBestForeclosures.com as the link to, or the address to copy and paste to. And I recall from the Super Conference, correct me if I'm wrong, that are we not supposed to have on Craigslist something a specific listing advertised, or can we actually post that ad?
Well, you should have a specific listing, and then you allude to a list of properties.
Right.
If you don't have a specific listing, you could get flagged.
Got you.
All right. Now, on Craigslist, are you able to have a live link to the landing page?
He says no, that they'll have to paste it, copy and paste it.
Okay. Failing that, the other thing you can do is drive traffic to your recorded hotline.
Right.
Because that is a change that Craigslist has made. They don't want live links. They don't want you pulling people away from Craigslist. So the way we get around that is, well, let's just use more information, free recorded message, and we drive them to the 800 number just like the good old days.
Okay, but if I'm going to advertise a list of foreclosures, I have to put an actual listing with that as well. Is that correct?
Well, look, if there are foreclosure properties, you would send them to the buyer, right? But in Toronto, just like in a lot of places, you're not going to find a lot of foreclosure properties.
That's correct.
So if you can't find any foreclosure properties, and this is for everybody, let me show you how to handle this. Okay, so Jim, let's say that you're my buyer, and you want a list of all the foreclosure properties in Toronto. I do a search, and I come up with nothing.
Right.
So I phone you up, and I go, hey, Jim, Craig Proctor with ABC Realty, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request for the foreclosure properties. Just wanted to let you know there's nothing available right now, but that's a bank foreclosure. But I wondered if you're only interested in bank foreclosures, or would you also be interested in other homes that aren't necessarily bank foreclosures, but they do represent great deals? What do you think the buyer says?
Yeah, sure, they'd be interested.
Right. So you say, well, great. And then you take them through the questions. You know, you're working with an agent. Do you own a home you're currently renting? You go through all the questions. And if they answer the questions properly, here's what you say. Well, why don't we, would you like me to send you a list of all the properties in Toronto that match your criteria, that represents good deals? If any bank foreclosures do come up, those would be included as well. But my list will include any fixer-uppers, any company-owned properties, any homes that represent the best deals possible. You'll get priority notification of all these homes, and it's an app. The service is free. You're never obligated to do anything. Jim, do you think that might interest you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great. Well, when can we get together for about 15 minutes so I can take down exactly what you're looking for? And I sign you up to a buyer agency agreement, right?
Yep.
And then I sell you something. So
right.
Even though I didn't sell you a foreclosure property,
right,
the bank foreclosure offer was successful, right? It did its job. It got you to meet with me, and I was able to sign you up to a buyer agency agreement and sell you something.
Yes.
That's the idea. This is what we have to understand in real estate, is that type of ad is way more effective than running a specific property ad for the beautiful home you just listed on Main Street. You know, when you list a specific property, even though it's a beautiful home, 99.9% of the buyers in Toronto are not interested in that home. But how many buyers are interested in a good deal in a foreclosure property? Tons of them. So it's a better offer. Now, some realtors will look at that and they'd say, well, Craig, when you run the foreclosure ad, if there are no foreclosures in Toronto, and there may be and there may not be, they would say, well, that's a bait and switch. And I would say this, okay, well, Jim, if you run an ad on your listing at 123 Main Street, you already know what's going to happen, right? 99% of the buyers that call on your property on Main Street, they're going to tell you it's too big, it's too small, it's in the wrong location. And then what are you going to do? Are you going to let them hang up? No. You would say, well, what are you looking for? And you would tell them about properties that may not even be your listings. And you try to switch them on to another property in hopes of getting them to be a client, right?
Right.
Well, then I could say, well, that's a bait and switch, right? You advertised a property. You knew they weren't going to buy. People that called you who were not interested, you switched them on to another property. So we could say every real estate agent in North America is involved in bait and switch. I'm just saying, if you are going to run an upfront ad, let's call the ad a funnel. Do you want a tiny, small funnel, a funnel that's really narrow and small where hardly any buyers call you? Or for the same amount of money, you run a different ad with a much wider message, a bigger funnel, which would be better for you and your business? Obviously, the latter. And that's why we always need to look at what is it that buyers and sellers really want. Let's stop trying to sell what we have. I mean, that's how real estate's been operated for 100 years, right? We advertise what we have. You get a listing on Main Street, you advertise the listing on Main Street. I come in with a new paradigm. I say, instead of telling buyers about what we have, let's offer buyers what they want. And what they want is a good deal. What they want is selection. They want priority notification on hot new listings that match their criteria. That's what the foreclosure ad communicates. Too many times realtors get caught up, well, I don't have any foreclosures, or where do I get the list? Look, bank foreclosures come and go. There could be a lot of them on the market today, and next week when the buyer contacts you, there could be none, or there could be none today, and tomorrow there could be a lot. What the buyer is really saying to you is, hey, Jim, do you think you could help me find a good deal? I want a good deal. And you're saying, yes, I can.
Right.
So that's the job. As marketers, you want to test all these ads, so you don't have to have any creativity here. All you need to do is test the ads. The ads have already been proven to work. Some of them, though, will work better for you. So you test the ads, you keep careful track of the results you get with each ad, and you continue with the ones that work the best. And pretty soon, you've got leads coming in left and right, and you don't need them all. That's the position I want you all to be in. is I want you to generate slightly more buyer and seller leads than you could possibly work with. Because if that was true for all of you, here's what would happen. If you couldn't work with them all, if that was your mindset, you'd be thinking, well, I'm forced to choose. And if you're forced to choose, who would you choose to spend your time with? Well, you would choose to spend your time with the most qualified, the most sincere, the most motivated, the most ready-to-act buyers and sellers out there. And when you're only working with those types of buyers or sellers, real estate is pretty fun. When you're working with people that aren't motivated, people that are rude, people that are not motivated, we've all had that joy, right, of working with buyers and sellers that are not motivated. Heck, I remember early in my career thinking I'm more motivated than they are. And that's not a good place. So it's all about marketing. We're in the marketing business first. 80% of realtors that get into this business do not make it to their 5th anniversary. A lot of great realtors are forced out of this business because consider this. You could be the best salesperson in the world, but if you don't have prospects to sell to, you will starve to death. That's what this system does. It changes all of that, and it gives you an unfair advantage.
One more quick question if you have the time, Craig. I've got a fixer-upper that's coming up shortly, and I'm wondering how I can maximize exposure to draw more buyer leads from that.
Well, you're going to run the fixer-upper ad. You have a picture of this property. It's going to say Toronto fixer-upper, whatever it is, beautiful home, quiet street, free list of homes, free list of fixer-uppers. These homes need work. Free list with pictures. Visit torontofixeruppers.com or torontofixerupperlist.com.
So I should just spread that over more media, like put it in the paper and put it in on Craigslist and Kijiji?
You're going to find that some of those places that you mentioned will work far better than others.
Right.
Right? And we don't care which one works the best. We just want to know which one works the best so we can do that more often. But if fixer-uppers, is that something buyers want? We know they want that. Personally, I'm not handy, but there are people that are handy that would perceive a fixer-upper as a good opportunity. They can go in, do a little bit of work, and flip this house and make a profit. I mean, heck, that's why every other show on TV today is about buying them and fixing them up and flipping them. We know there's a marketplace for that.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, hopefully that's helped you out here today. Let's go back to Andrea to see who's next.
Our next guest, I think we'll take a few chat questions if you don't mind, Craig. We have a lot of them in the box.
Okay.
Peter would like to know, how many leads does one need to generate to make an appointment? And then how many appointments to get a contract? And then how many signed to contracts to get a closing?
Okay, those are very good questions, Peter. And the answer is going to come down to a couple things. First of all, the campaign. Some of the ads that I would run, I would be able to convert more of those leads than others. Let me give you an example. If I'm offering the area home sales report, that's the campaign that says find out what homes in your neighborhood are selling for, free list of recent home sales and current listings, or if I'm running an online home evaluation, personally I found those to be really high quality seller leads. And I could convert about 1 in 4 of those to a listing appointment. Versus if I'm running a distress sale ad where I might generate a ton more leads. So that's the thing with the 2 home seller campaigns I just mentioned, I might only generate 2 or 3 leads a day. And I'm going to show you, in a couple weeks here, for those of you that are new with the coaching program, I'm going to show you the actual ads I ran and the response I got and what the ads cost and where I ran them. I'm going to get into all that. But I might generate with the online home evaluation campaign 2 or 3 leads a day. With the distress sale ad, I might generate 20 leads. Now, I always preferred the online home evaluation or the area home sales campaign because I'd rather, call 4 people to get an appointment than have to call, 20 people to get an appointment. So you're going to find that some of the leads produce higher quality. Some of the campaigns produce higher quality leads. So these are the things that we want to consider. Don't just look at the number of leads the campaign produces. Look at the quality of the leads And more importantly, look at your return on investment. So I could spend the same amount of money on those two campaigns. One campaign offers a list of distress sales, and I get gazillions of leads. The other campaign offers an online home evaluation, and I get 3 or 4 leads. But I get a listing that sells, and I make $20,000. Okay? Or I call all these distress sale leads. I've got 20 of them, and I don't book an appointment at all, or I book 1 or 2 appointments, and I only get 1 buyer. You know, I would rather call 4 people to get a commission check than 20 people. But these are all the things that you want to be thinking about. The mistake usually is agents they only look at, well, what campaign produced the most number of leads? And generating leads doesn't pay you anything. It's a good starting point, but the most important thing is, what did the ad cost? And at the end of the day, what did you make? What was the commission check? Was there a commission check, and for what amount? Okay, that's what we really want to be concerned with, is ROI, return on investment. And this system gives you that ability to track all of this. You're going to know the cost of the lead. You're going to know how many leads you generated. You're going to know how many appointments you booked, and you're going to know how much money you made at the end of the day. So I hope that helps. Let's see who's next.
And Craig, I just want to give you a little update. We were able to get the Market Watch newsletter loaded to the file library. So I'm going to show everybody right now. Thank you. So now if you just go into the file library, so under library, file library, type in newsletter, and then it'll come up under Market Watch newsletter, and you just hit download.
Okay, that easy. And that's the way this should work, is you just type in what you're looking for, and like magic, it appears. That's how it worked on the previous coaching site. This site is better. The layout is better. The functionality is better. So those of you that were using the prior coaching site and you liked it, you're going to love this, although anything new takes a little bit of getting used to.
I also find that this site, just so people know, if you're out of the office or not around a computer or desktop, it also works better on your phone, or if you have an Android or iPhone, even some tablets. It has much better functionality, so it'll be easier to see and use if you just happen to not be around a computer. And
absolutely. That was one of the big changes, is we wanted to make sure that no matter what device you're on, the page is going to fit accordingly.
Okay. Our next question from John, he said, benefit-rich websites. It's my understanding that with mailers, .com suffix is not as relevant. Example, .com, .net, .biz. However, ads with 800 numbers should have .com versus other suffix. Is that correct?
Okay, I'm not really getting that question, but I always prefer a .com. Here's the way I would look at it. If it's a clickable link, I don't really care what it is, because they're just going to click on it. So if it's an ad on Facebook, doesn't matter. If it's a postcard or a print ad where they physically have to type in the domain, I always prefer a .com. Let me give you a quick example of why. Okay, one of our coaching members is in Penticton, British Columbia. His name is Gil Szabo, and he runs my online home evaluation. Same ad I run. I have the domain name, if you want to check it out, onlinehomeevaluation.com. So Andrea, if you type in onlinehomeevaluation.com, it goes to my landing page, exactly where it should go. Well, of course, Gil, he can't get that domain name because I already have it. And because he's in Canada, he gets the Canadian version of this, onlinehomeevaluation.ca. And guess what? I get his leads. Why does that happen? Because even though his postcards, his print advertising clearly says onlinehomeevaluation.ca, people are so used to .com, they would mistakenly type in .com. Now, fortunately for Gil, I was able to forward his leads back to him. So, you know, a word of caution. If you've got .net, .info, whatever, .ca, and one of your competitors has that domain name with .com, your leads could go to them. So that's why I always prefer, if I can get a .com, that I would, preference, I'd rather have it. Not the end of the world maybe, but, that's my answer on that. Just like I'd rather have a 1-800 number than a 1-877, but it's very hard to get a 1-800 number now because most of them are gone.
Okay, John Perry asks, when you send a requested report, do you send it with a handwritten address in a business envelope? And what do you put as a returner sendee's address?
Yes, those are excellent questions. So when you're sending information out, I prefer to mail the reports out. When prospects go to your website, as soon as they enter their contact information, they can actually see the report, but I still mail the report out as well. And the reason I mail it out rather than email it out is people get a lot of email and things get lost. And when's the last time you actually received an envelope hand-addressed with a live stamp? Remember, people sort their mail over the garbage can. There's no sense us sending out information to prospects if the prospect never gets to see it. So, I have an assistant, and my assistant would pull off the leads, and she would mail the information out. Now, even though we could have used our company-printed envelopes, with the Remax balloon on, and we could have stuck a label on it and ran it through our postage meter, we could have done it that way. But then my mail looks like everybody else's mail. And they see the Remax balloon, and they check it out. They don't even, they don't realize it's information they've requested. They think it's a solicitation from a real estate agent. So I didn't do it that way. I used a plain white number 10 envelope, hand-addressed with a live stamp, a real stamp. Even though we had a postage meter, even though it would have been easier to stick on labels, we did it this way because our mail got delivered and it got opened. And when I send the prospect something that they've requested and I follow up with them, it creates reciprocity, right? You request something from me, I send it to you, and then when I follow up with you, there's a bit of reciprocity here. What happens when you follow up with the prospect and they never did get the thing that you promised them? Not as good. All right, let's see who's next.
Okay, our next question from Jeff Kim. I want to use the first-time home buyer marketing, but I don't have an associated landing page on my site. Do I just have to contact Success website to add that page?
Yes, you could use one of the pages on the site that currently exists. Remember, you can change the headline. So as much as the sites have all my copy in the headline, you can change the headline. So could we let's go to my Success website. Let's go to YorkRegionHomesales.com. It actually might be HomeInfo.com. Let's see what comes up here. Let's do Home Info. I think it's Home Info.
I believe it's the York Region Home Sales. I know that was the one that was updated about 6 months back.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go place our mouse on, right there at the top, okay, and then you're going to click on buyer. So here's all our buyer campaigns here. Okay, so let's look at the top of all our buyer campaigns. Okay, so stop paying rent. Would that be a good one for first-time buyers? Let's click on that one. Don't pay another cent in rent to your landlord before you read this free report. Okay, above that we got a foreclosure hot list, buy with 0 down. Okay, and flip back again. Let's look for, if you can go back to the index there, there's buy with little down. Okay, let's see what else we could use. Where's the VIP home buyer list there, Andrea? We could just change that to say first-time buyers.
I'm looking.
Okay, right there, first-time buyer hot list. That's the one right there. You got it. Okay, so this is what our member can use. Okay, they can use this. You're offering a list of first-time buyer homes, or you're offering a free report to people that are renting on how to stop buying and own their own homes. So you've got two choices. Whether you want to offer the report on how to buy a home and stop renting, or whether you want to offer a list of homes for first-time buyers. Let's see who's next.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to some other audio questions. We've had some raised hands. It is from Henny Lusana. Your mic is now open. Henny, say hello. Okay, we'll move on to Joe Clark. Your mic is open. Joe? Joe, just say hello. We can hear you. Okay. We'll move on to Rosalba Ferris. Your mic is now open. Rosalba?
Good morning. Yes, good morning. My question is, I am in Hacienda Heights. I've been here for over 20 years, somewhat known, but the majority right now is in growing is Asian market, and they basically deal mostly with their own people, their own race. Should I advertise here, or should I go to a nearby, more Hispanic American area?
Well, look, these are all the things you're going to consider when it comes to target market, right? So what you can do is you can run the ads, and you can point these messages at different target markets, okay, in different languages, and you can determine which is the best target market for you. But there will be a better target market for you, right? If we do the testing and we ask the questions, we do the testing, you're going to find that not only will some of my ads work better for you, but some pieces of the market will work better for you than others. The important thing is we ask those questions now. You said you've been doing this for 30 years, right?
Over 25, 27 actually, yeah.
Okay, so what's been your target market so far in the last 27 years?
English and Spanish, and it's been to the nearby cities, but not heavily doing it, somewhat just to survive, and now I want to go serious. I want to make lots of money.
So why don't we test using my program, using my ads in your existing target market first? Okay,
there is another, will it matter, Craig, if there is an agent right here, if he's with Keller Williams, he has a huge team, maybe 12 members. He has a team. I do not know if he's under your program, but now that I see, looking back, I think he's one of your students, because he uses very similar everything you say or you're teaching us or I'm learning about your programs. And he has a huge team, and he's well known. His father started the business here in Hacienda Heights, and he came on the business already taking over that business, and he's number one. I mean, you see his ads, you see his signs, his open house every weekend all over the city.
Yeah, but he doesn't sell all the houses in the marketplace,
no,
right?
No. In fact, he gets a lot of expires because he goes and discounts the commission and overprice them to get them.
Okay, well, look, the truth is 99% of the agents that you are going to be up against are not using my program. The most successful agents in the marketplace are using my program. And what you'll find is there's going to be room for this person to be successful, but there's going to be room for you to be successful as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about what the other agent's doing. What I would focus on is what's going to work the best for you.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I would take comfort in knowing that this other agent is doing so well using our program.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Okay. My other question. Okay. When to get the 800 number, your team, the one that is going to be helping me later on today to get my hotlines, do they provide the 800 number, or I have to have one already on hand?
Nope. They take care of everything for you. Okay. They're going to set you up with the 800 number and 1,000 mailboxes, and all my scripts are going to be pre-recorded and waiting for you.
Okay.
Now remember, the hotline script, or the hotlines and the website come in both English, Spanish, and French.
Yes, I'll be using both Spanish and English, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know, if you want to target, like in Canada, of course, we've got a lot of English and French. In the U.S., we've got a lot of English and Spanish. So all that work has been done. Okay, everything is available in all three languages.
I love it. I went through that a lot already. One last question. My coach already introduced him to me last Friday. His name is Rudy here from Rosemead, which is not even 20 miles away from my town. But is it normal for them to be too busy because his first appointment for me is going to be this Thursday at 4. And I was like, you know, can we do it like Monday, Tuesday? I'm available. I want to start already.
Yeah.
And
well, look,
he said,
here's what's important. What you want is you want a coach that successfully makes a lot of money in real estate. That's what you want. Most organizations, their coaches don't sell real estate. They've never sold real estate. So how are they going to coach you on how to be successful at doing this when they've never done it before? So, you know, yes, our coaches are very busy. You're going to wait a little bit, a couple more days. But if I was you, I'd rather wait a couple more days and talk to somebody that makes hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars doing this, rather than we have a bunch of coaches at the office that are sitting around twiddling their thumbs. They have nothing else to do because all they do is coach. All they do is talk about how to sell real estate. They don't actually sell real estate.
I absolutely agree on that. Yes. Okay.
So you will be rewarded for your patience.
Thank you. That was my last question.
All right, let's see who's next.
Our next question is Shirley Ladid. Your mic is now open. Shirley?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Shirley. How you doing this morning?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, there you go.
Okay. I have actually two questions. When you're soliciting when the buyer calls and says that they are working with an agent or seller calls, do you still send them the newsletter, especially the seller, because they're already contracted with an agent? Isn't that kind of like...
Yes, if they're under contract, I'd say, look, I'd love to send you the information, but I'm forbidden to do that. I'm not allowed to communicate with you in any way once I know that you're being represented by another agent. So I apologize for that, but you can get all this information directly from your realtor.
Okay, and then the second part is on the closing. If you've already said, I know you said something like on number 6, like, you're trying to make that appointment, and they said, no, that's okay, you can send it to me. I mean, I can give you all the information on the phone. What do you say the second time after they said no, and is that it? If they've absolutely said, nope, don't want to meet with you, you just give them the newsletter and that's it?
Yeah, the harder they fight us, Shirley, the more we don't want them. Right, because they're telling us that they're going to be kind of a pain all the way through this anyway. They're not going to be loyal. That's what we're trying to determine is this person going to be a good prospect for us? Are they willing to meet with us and sign a buyer agency agreement? Will they be committed to us? So I'm going to teach you how to handle these objections. But at some point, you're going to think, well, you know what? No matter how well I handle their objection, they immediately come up with another one.
Right.
So what does that tell us when they have an objection, you have a reasonable response, you've got a solution to that objection, and then they come up with another one, and you solve that objection, and then they come up with another one. At some point, you're going to throw your hands up in the air and say, okay, you know what, we'll send you the information, thanks, and have a nice day.
Okay. Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean we don't try, but give me an example of what they're saying to you, and I'll show you how I would handle it.
Okay, so after you just took care of, well, can I just give it to you over the phone because I don't really have time to get together with you. I have a busy schedule.
Okay, so let's stop there for a minute. Now, we all know people will take time off from work to go get their teeth cleaned, right? That happens all the time. So they'll take time to drive from work to go see the dentist to get their teeth cleaned, but they're saying to buy the biggest thing they're ever going to buy in their whole life, they don't have time to meet with you. So we know that that's not real. It's an excuse.
Okay.
Okay, so here's how I would handle this. I would say, first of all, I'd say, well, Shirley, I want to do a good job for you. Now let's stop there for a minute. I think we would all agree, every buyer in the world would know that if they met with a realtor from the onset, the realtor, of course, could do a way better job because, of course, the realtor would have a better understanding of what the buyer was looking for. So, Shirley, I want to do a good job for you. Rather than me emailing you dozens of homes that don't match what you're looking for, even worse, missing out on the perfect one, if we could get together for about 15 minutes, I could have that same great understanding that you have as to what you're looking for. And our system is perfect for busy people like you because once I have your criteria, you're going to receive by email every day any homes that match your criteria. And on your convenience, you can look at the emails, drive by any of the properties that interest you, and just give us a call when there's a property you want to look at. So when would be a good time for us to get together, days or evenings?
Do you want me to be difficult again?
Yep. So throw another one.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I don't understand why I can't just give you the information on the phone. So what's the difference whether I do this in person or on the phone? I can just give you everything I need.
Well, because what I want to do when we're at the office is I want to take you to some of these neighborhoods, and we're going to look at some of the information on what's been going. And we're going to try to narrow down exactly what you're looking for, just so I don't miss out on anything that would be perfect. I mean, this is I think you would agree, Shirley, this is a really big decision, buying a home. And and it sounds like you have a really good idea as to what you're looking for. So I'd really just like to have that same great understanding that you have so I can do a good job for you. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, I do like that.
Now, you got to admit, everything I'm saying is true, right? So if you continue to fight me, what are you really saying? What you're really saying is, you know what, Craig? Everything you're saying is absolutely true. It totally makes sense. If I'm buying a $800,000 home, that I should spend 15 minutes with the person that's going to find it for me, that would be way better for everybody, including me. Nobody can dispute that.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes what you'll hear them say is they'll say, well, you know, I'd love to meet with you, Shirley, but I've got to check my work schedule or I've got to check with my spouse. Now, if they say that, you're going to say, well, look, why don't we set up a tentative time for this week, and if you talk to your spouse or you check your work schedule and that's not going to work, just give me a call back and we can change the appointment. See, that's a reasonable response to this problem. But what you'll find is if they're not sincere about wanting to meet with you, and we've got to give them the benefit of the doubt, but if they're not, no matter how you handle the objection, no matter how much sense it makes, they're going to continue to invent yet another and another and another, and that should just tell you, look, clearly, no matter what I come up with, no matter how great a job I do of solving these obstacles, they're just going to invent another one. This person is not sincere about working with me or being loyal, and I'd rather know that now from the onset instead of what most realtors do, which is they agree to go run around and show the buyer's property and send them information with no commitment at all. You're just finding out a little earlier that this buyer is never going to benefit you in any way at all.
Okay. And do you, when you actually meet them at that point, do you get an agency agreement?
Absolutely. The only reason we're meeting with them is so we can segue right into the VIP buyer presentation. So two things have to happen. Number one, we've got to compel them to want to meet with us. We can't make them meet with us. And then when they meet with us, the presentation has to compel them to want to sign up with us. If those two things don't happen, I'm not showing houses. I'm not sending out information every day. That isn't happening unless we get to, you know, from the first step to the second step and get the buyer agency agreement signed. And I'm going to show all of you how to do this.
So when, let's say you do meet them and it's in the evening, so because that's the only time they can meet you, obviously you're not going to go show homes in the evening because, you know, people I'm not showing homes during the day if they meet with me. All we're going to do at that point is get the buyer agency contract signed and take down their criteria and start emailing them properties. So there's no looking at homes that particular day. Oh, okay, and you grab the buyer agency agreement first before you actually show them a few homes on like your laptop or something? Or
yeah, we're going to, you know, I may talk about what they're looking for, but yeah, there's no running around looking at houses before they become clients. Okay. Just like Shirley, you don't do anything for sellers until they sign a listing agreement, right?
Right. Right.
Like you don't market their home or open house it or show buyers the seller's house until or unless they sign a listing agreement. Well, it should be the same with buyers, that you either represent them or you don't.
Okay. That's a good point, and that's a good argument to give them if they don't want to sign one.
Well, we don't want to argue with them. We want to entice them with the words. You see, the better the words that come out of your mouth, the more money you're going to make with this program. Because you can generate a lot of leads, but if you don't know exactly what to do and say when you're following up with those leads, this program won't make you any money. You'll generate a lot of leads, a lot of buyers and sellers that will work with somebody else. So that's why every single Thursday we're going to show you what to do with the leads, what to do, what to say, how to follow up with them, how to handle the objections. And James and I are going to role play with you. And it's a skill. We're going to teach you how to fine-tune your skills. Just like every Friday, we're going to look at your ads and show you how to generate more leads. And then on Mondays, today, I just take over any of your questions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Shirley. Good luck. And remember, Thursday, don't miss Thursday's role play call where we go through that script and really fine-tune all of this. All right, let's see who's next.
Yes, sir. This question comes in the form of chat from Carissa. It says, I'm a brand new realtor and I feel very overwhelmed. I haven't sold a single home yet. What should be my very first step in regards to marketing? I find myself doing nothing because I don't know where to start.
Okay, well, look, don't get paralyzed into inaction. In reality, the best position to be in is to be a brand new agent because you do not bring any bad habits to the table here. If you talk to anybody that's ever played golf or ever played tennis, and they go out there for years and they teach themselves how to play tennis or they teach themselves how to play golf, and then they go get professional lessons, the first thing the coach has to do is break all their bad habits. So somebody that's been in real estate for 20 or 30 years, they have this old paradigm. They have all these bad habits. That's why I spent so much time at the Super Conference talking about old paradigms. People have old paradigms, but so do entire industries. So you don't have that. You don't have any of that old baggage that you're dragging around. But don't get paralyzed. The key is to start with something. So here's what you should do. If you're new in the business or you need to make now money, I would run some of the ads that target first-time buyers. You could run a little ad in the paper. Just take my ads and start running them in different places. Why do I like first-time buyers? Because first-time buyers obviously don't have a house to sell. First-time buyers are not that picky. How about this? I take out some first-time buyers. It's a young couple, and they're renting this dingy apartment. I go and I show them 4 or 5 homes, and guess what? All 4 or 5 homes I show them are way better than that dingy apartment that they're currently renting. Like they would buy any of them, and when they decide which one they want to make an offer on, the offer can close, if we can close in 30 days, and they don't have a house to sell. Okay, versus I work with a move-up buyer, a buyer that's already got a really, really nice house. So I have to find them a home that's even better than the very, very nice home they're in, which could take months and months and months because they're very picky, because they don't have to move. And remember, they've already got a very, very nice home. When I finally find them that nice house, now they've got to put an offer in, maybe that's conditional on the sale of their house, or maybe they'll go in without that condition. But still, it takes months and months to get paid, if I ever get paid, with that move-up buyer. So if you need to make now money, what would be a better target market? The first-time buyer, there's lots of them out there. They're easy to satisfy, and you can get a closing in 30 days. Usually like they're on a month-to-month rent. 30 days, 60 days, you get paid. Or a move-up buyer that's going to be super fussy, take months and months to find them the right house, and then months and months to close the transaction and get paid. We all have to decide which target market is going to be best for us. Okay, we're going to take one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up for today because I want you guys to go make some money with all of this. And remember, Thursday, role play call, what to do and what to say when following up with all the leads. And then Friday is our ad clinic. So let's take our final question now.
Okay, our final question is from Eric, and it's regarding today's webinar, whether it will be recorded or not. And yes, all of our webinars, Monday through Friday, are recorded and placed on the Recorded Webinars Library. So if you just go to the Library tab, you go to Webinars Library, click on it, And currently I'm logged on as one of our newest members, so you're going to see 2 of the sessions, the introduction they had last week and session 1. And you can either download it to your desktop, your device, or watch it directly from the site.
Yep, absolutely. You'll never miss a session. They're always recorded. They're usually updated later that day or the next day by the latest. So again, we've got 3 sessions this week. Right, some of you have 4 sessions with me. You'll actually have a coaching session with me as well. But you can go log into the coaching site, and you'll see all the sessions that are scheduled for you. So maybe you can just show everybody how they do that, Andrea, please.
Okay. If you'd like to see the weekly schedule, I try to schedule at least a month in advance. I'm a little behind since we got to the new site, but you just go to Schedule, click on Webinars, and then the upcoming webinar schedule is listed for every session you're invited to. And all you have to do is click Register Now. But just so everyone knows, you are registered for each webinar that we would like you to attend within 24 hours prior to the webinar. So this afternoon, you will be registered for the next webinar you are being invited to. So be watchful on your email for anything from GoToWebinar or Andrea@craigproctor.com.
Fantastic. Okay, I know we didn't get everybody's questions, but remember, we got lots of opportunities to talk this week. So pay attention to all the sessions that are scheduled for you. If you haven't yet been in touch with your personal one-on-one coach, you might want to shoot them an email, give them a phone call, and connect with them, because the sooner the better, obviously. But I want to thank everybody for being part of the program. I hope you enjoyed today's session. We are at a time for today, so everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you later this week. Take care, and that concludes our helpline session.